Hello, day 62. Just a quick update, really. I'm just down in the speed shop. I brought the Postie bikes down here. I'm going through them one by one, just servicing them, really, getting them ready for the year ahead. Poor old Lucy, she's the donor bike at the minute for the parts that I might need for the other bike, so she's looking a little bit headlightless. But the rest, all in good fettle, really. They just need the basics, an oil change, a bit of oil on the chains, valve checks doing, just a basic nut and bolt tightening, overview, see if anything's leaking or needs fixing or tightening or adjusting, clutches adjusting, etc. I think this one needs some new clutch plates in because it was slipping a little bit, but the rest all seem all right. So yeah, just it's a bit of a mission keeping these older bikes going. They are very reliable bikes, but just when you've got a multiple number of them, they just need a little bit more servicing and care and attention. To be honest, the biggest problem I've had on them is carburetors. So they're all carbureted bikes, really straightforward, as simple a carb as you can get. The only problem is the original carbs in Australia, the price of putting a rebuild kit on the original carb is the same as the cheap Chinese copies. So most of these bikes came with the cheap Chinese copies because that's what a lot of people do. I don't know if that's the reason, but in winter last year when I was running them, they were fouling up quite frequently, which is odd because they all came across the Australian outback with no issues with the carbs at all. It was almost just like a wet, dirty English winter that just fouled them up a bit. But a quick squirt through a carb cleaner, and to be honest, they generally, once you've had a good going over with them, they're all right. I've obviously put an inline filter in them. The little quirk of the Australian postal bike, obviously they've got a side stand on both sides. That's for the camber of the road, depending on what side of the road they're delivering on. So that's the plan, really. Get them ready, get them ship shape. I don't know about anybody else, but things seem to be progressing quickly. We almost have gone through the depths of lockdown to next, what day is it? Next Monday we're allowed out. Freedom. Cry freedom. So all of a sudden we've gone from sitting on our laurels or kicking the football around the back garden into being able to get out and do something. So all systems go. We've got a couple of people coming down next week to ride the Himalayans, and then week after that we've got the fleet of Interceptors arriving, and then April kicks off busy, really. Yeah, so looking forward. I'm really looking forward to getting back out on the bike. Actually, I don't think until you've been told you can't do something, you don't realise how much you miss doing it. So so that's it. The bikes are all ready to go. Basically come down and be part of this story, I suppose. Chloe, bless her, she's the one that I rode across the outback. No problems at all, bless her. She was highest mileage one, 73,000 kilometres she's got on her. A little bit of a puff of smoke. She gives out every now and again, but still runs healthy, still runs fresh. Susie, not a bad runner. Poor old Dorothy, she's still getting flogged. 100,000 kilometres on that one, original bottom end still, but still going relatively strong. She's got, yeah, as I say, 100,000, well, 99.44, so she'll tick over the 100,000 mile or kilometre mark this year. Then we've got Holly. Holly's been a good runner. She came across the outback, Brisbane to Perth through the outback. She just needs a little bit of a spruce up, a bit of a clean. Again, it's just checking spokes and things like that. And we've talked in other videos about bike prep, and it really is just about keeping on top of the basic things like spoke tension, bolt tension, air filters, oil level. Because these bikes, if you're running one of these all day, they can use a bit of oil, and they can soon drop down the dipstick if you're not keeping an eye on them. And so if you were planning on doing a lot of miles on your 125 or your 90 or whatever, if you're not checking that oil almost daily or twice daily, you could easily find yourself running low, and that's when you're going to have problems. Heidi's another good runner. She had to have a fork seal on her towards the end of last summer. But to be honest, that's as much as most of them have needed. Fork seals and things like that. Valve checks are easy to do. Just screw and lock nut under there. Inlet and exhaust, so that's pretty straightforward. Same measurement for both. This bike, this is my best one really. Lowest miles. This was just the guy at the shipping company in Perth said, I've got a Postie bike if you want one. another one. And I said, well, I'm not sure. I've got plenty of bikes as it is, as I was shipping 9. I was shipping 9 home. And he said, well, have a look at it and see what you think. And he brought it down, and it was caked in dirt, like just grime from being in the garage, and wiped it down, and it was absolute immaculate. Well, as immaculate as you get after they've done postal delivery service. Low miles, 26,000 k. And I said, yep, I'll take that. So we put another one in the container. So 10 all up, 2 have been sold. So I'm left with 8, which I think 8 Postie bikes is enough for any man. And poor old Lucy, she'll get worked on eventually. She just needs a few extra parts. I tend to find these fall off the foot peg rubbers. The bolt comes out when you're riding over bumps. It drops out. Needs a bit more Loctite on it. And then I've just had the headlight casing on this one. It's just cracked out there where it bolts in. So that's it. But I mean, the simple bikes, it's just one of those. As they get older, they get more arthritic, as we all do. They have little niggles or quirks or electrical gremlins. So you know, I don't think you can expect perfection with them, which is a shame. It's a shame that the CT125s aren't coming, and from everything I gather, they definitely are not coming. Mainly because that engine is no longer Euro 5, or isn't going to be made Euro 5. I don't think the Super Cub was popular enough for them to adapt that engine to Euro 5. Although the monkey bike engine, which is effectively the same, although that's got a manual gearbox, so I don't know how different that makes the rest of the engine. I wouldn't have thought very much so. But the new monkey bike is going to be Euro 5. But the Super Cub, which shares its engine with the CT125, isn't Euro 5 compliant. So they're dropping the Super Cub in the UK at least, and also not bringing in the CT125. No matter how much people sort of nag and harass Honda, which many of us do. There is, I gather there's a shipment coming in. People are bringing some in. I heard word that 7Cs up in sort of Huddersfield way, they were bringing some in, and I would imagine they'll begin to flow to these shores. Obviously, cost is going to be an issue, whether they're 2,000 or 2,200 in Thailand for a CT125, but by the time you've got it here and registered it, and if somebody's trying to make a profit, then added profit on, then I think 4.5 to 5 is more realistic. There was a Dutch company selling them for nearly £6,000, and then you had to register it and pay duty. So I would imagine that ended up quite expensive, and ultimately for a 125 bike, is it worth it? But it's a real shame, you know. I said it in another video, but I think Honda, I guess thinking that when they look at this issue of the CT125 as a corporate decision, I guess it makes sense. But if you were looking at it as a decision that might inspire new riders and get new people to the brand, then I think it's a huge mistake. You know, the CT125 is probably the coolest bike that Honda have built in the last 10 years, 15 years. It's got a lot of interest from all walks of life. I think looking at the forums, you've got the trail guys interested, you've got the touring guys interested, you've got the GS guys interested, you've got the moped riders interested. And there aren't many bikes released that get such a wide range of interest. And for people such as myself who maybe don't always admire Honda's new direction, because I think they can be a little bit soulless, I suppose, in their bikes. It's a shame that they're not using the CT125 to try and get that audience back. And basically reinvent what they used to be when they came out in the 60s. A fun, funky, innovative brand, which I think they've lost a little bit, to be fair. So if anybody from Honda's listening, bring us a CT125, please, and I will have 6, if I can afford 6. But for now, the CT110 is a weapon of choice for the lanes of North Devon. I mean, they're perfect because I've had novice riders down. I've had 70-year-old ladies who've only just passed a test who don't even know what a green lane is, and they come down and you stick them on a Postie bike, put them in second gear, and they can go down any green lane or any narrow Devon country lane that you can show them to. So they're a very easy to manage machine. The only issue is the gearbox. People still can't get the fact of rolling on and off just like you do with a regular manual gearbox. You just haven't got the clutch, but you still have to roll on and off with the gear changes just to smooth that out. But otherwise, it's as you would imagine a manual gearbox to be. Neutral at the bottom, 4 up. So that's it. I'm going to get them sorted. They're all going to have oil changes. I'll just buy a 20-litre drum of oil, a 1040 weight, and just put another fresh litre in. I'll take air filters out. Air filters are easy to get to. They're just in this side box just here. So you just take this off. So the breather is there very cleverly. So if you're going through a depth of water, you've got it almost as high as the seat before you start to get water ingress, which is a great bit of design. It's almost like a snorkel. And then it's just a foam filter in there. So that's very easy to work on. This just clips off, just comes off. And then the rest of the bike, yeah, even a numpty like me can service it. No ILO gearbox, so no complications there. And that's it. Postie bikes, eh? And old Dorothy. Bless old Dorothy. She's looking at me mournfully, knowing that she's got another year of abuse ahead of her. She's saying, when will you retire me off? Have I not ridden far enough? Can I not just sit in the workshop and watch everyone else go out on a ride? But realistically, she's been the most reliable bike. She's never let me down. Never once. Carb issue or anything. She has never let me down. Well, apart from coming back from Australia, rounded sump bolt and a leaking output shaft. But other than that, 100,000 kilometres, top end rebuild in Seattle just because it's got a bit of piston slap, and that's it. Away we go. I think with a bit of an engine overhaul, new fork seals and a few other bits and pieces, I think she'd do 200,000 kilometres. Not sure whether I could do 200,000 kilometres, but I think she could. That's it. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you've got great plans ahead. And I hope Monday comes and you all get out on your bikes, because it's very exciting. What I would say is just ride cautiously. You know, we're all rusty. I did go out on the bike the other day on a CRF2. I went on my CRF 250 rally, and I very naughtily did a few trails. I know, tell me off later. And the first trail I ended up in a bush, just a slow speed topple, but my entire riding ability had gone. And so build up gently is what I would say. Don't expect to jump up back on the bike and be where you were last summer or last autumn, because you always lose your skills a little bit. So take it steady and hopefully see you down here or out on the road somewhere. But at least on Monday we can get out riding. And a few weeks later we can get a haircut as well. So double bubble. Alright, take it easy. Cheers, bye.